Hello, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. Sorry that I haven't streamed in a while. I've been actually playing a little bit of League of Legends, or rather learning to play. And if you're familiar at all with that game, you know that there's a little bit to it, where you've got to learn your roles, positioning, and then once you've learned the basics, you've got to learn what each character does, and there's a lot of them. And essentially, yeah, it's a bit of work. It's a bit of work, but I've had a lot of fun with it. Of course, that's been brought on, as many of you will be aware. There's Arcane, the show on Netflix, and that was without spoiling anything. It looked really cool, and so that's made me want to play some. I've always heard of League of Legends, of course. It is free to play. So that's what's kept me away. Also not continuing on the Rift Breaker series just yet. It will continue. What I have spotted in the Steam updates, though, is the experimental branch will be increasing the difficulty. So once that's on the main branch, so once it's stable and I'm guaranteed a good experience, because I don't want to just lose out because of a bug or something like that, then I'll continue on that brutal Rift Breaker series, and I would expect that it will get significantly harder, which is really what I'm hoping for on that particular playthrough. We did go for brutal because it was the most difficult, and it's just been a little bit easy mode so far. So the plan is that will hopefully make that run a little bit more entertaining, and so that's why we're going to wait until we have we've hit that milestone. But for the time being, we can continue our Pillars of Eternity. I will get back to a Lobotomia Corporation at the moment, and hey, if people are interested, I might do a few streams of League of Legends as well, once I feel like I've gotten my feet. At the moment, I'm winning some, I'm losing some, of some games I'm doing great. I'm having a lot of fun playing Misfortune. Also, Eloy and Morgana have been my picks. I did start off with Master Yi, but yeah, I need to practice a little bit with him on becoming a decent jungler and get the routine down right in the picks. So that'll be some solo practice that I do at some point. Anyway, we're here for Pillars of Eternity, so here we go. We will continue on. Now, in the last episode, we did complete Caed Nua. We got our new keep, of course, which we can see on our stronghold icon here, that we now can construct things. We have prestige points as well as security to keep money flowing in. The more prestigious it is, the more income you get, of course. With more prestige means more problems. And so we have started the Bright Hollow restoration, which will allow us to rest at the stronghold whenever we want to, so that will be useful. Now, from here, we'll be making our way to Defiance Bay. So we'll work through the Woodend Plains into the Outer Bridge, and then into Copper Lane and so on and so forth, and just get a kind of a feel for the city, and get a basic introduction to it. I'm not going to be able to cover off everything in Defiance Bay. We're going to be spending a lot of time in there. There's a lot of different quests, especially on a completion run. It means we're going to be spending an extremely large amount of time. So think of it as, if you've ever played Baldur's Gate, then you're out in the hinterlands, you're doing a bit there, you get to Baldur's Gate, and then there's all these extra quests that you do. Or maybe Shadows of Arm, where most of the game is set in the city of Arm, and then occasionally you're out and about doing other things, or depending on what happens in the different acts, you'll be out and about elsewhere. And I don't want to spoil that for anyone who hasn't played that game. Pick it up, Baldur's Gate 2, amazing, really cool story, really enjoyed it. And hey, maybe we'll even do a playthrough of it sometime. Maybe we'll do a Baldur's Gate series, do 1, 2, and then hopefully by that time, the third would be out of early access as is. Anyway, I gotta stop talking. We gotta start playing, right? Let's head to the Woodend Plains. It will take us 18 hours to get there as well. Okay, and here we have arrived. Now, it's another one of those horizontal maps. A4 horizontal, we might say. But we will be doing some wandering around here. And I will remember my controls, my reflexes are now all kind of League of Legends-y. But this will be where we pick up our... Just make sure I'm not going to get a bit of brunt of that. Ow. And you should be on your gun.
Let's end this!
That's it!
It's stuck for a long time. Maybe we just start shooting instead. Okay, that's having a bad effect. I should use my temporaries. There's another one. Surely when I'm unstuck by now, yeah.
Let's go!
How may I help? These ones are in for a wallop!
I love how the elf has like a big Scottish accent as his alter ego. These ones are in for a wallop. Arr.
Alright then.
Now, I am a little bit low on the health side for my tank, and that's got me a little bit concerned. About trying to take on everything here. What is it? F5 is quick save? Yeah. Always do a quick save. Aha!
Hush, Itumak. We'll just wait a little longer.
Yes, Itumak.
Easy, Itumak. It's not him. Short version? I'm looking for a very, very old friend. I'm not sure what skin he's wearing now, but I'll know him when I see him. That's what I heard. Of course, the man who told me so was carrying a staff he claimed was made from dragon bone, but I know Whitewood when I see it. That should have been my first clue, but I had to try something. The long version. Here we go. I'm from an island to the far south called Nasitak. I came here looking for a village elder, a man we knew as Persok. I'm a hunter back home, so tracking someone wouldn't normally be a problem. But Persok's trail is cold, to say the least. That about sums it up. Then you have my sympathies. Hopefully you've got a better lead than I do. True enough. But first I should explain about the figurine.
Explain about the figurine or the unhelpful stranger. Sure, but we'll talk about the stranger first, irrespective of either option.
Cute, isn't it? It belonged to Persok. Before he returned to the wheel, he left a splinter of his soul in it. Something to help us find him later. When I left Nasitak, it was completely dark inside. But as I've gotten closer to Persok, it's glowed steadily brighter. Since I've reached the Deerwood, however, it's gotten hard to read. Some days it flickers and goes dark. Others it shines nice and bright, for a few hours. But most of the time it looks just like this. I've heard that one before. Whole reason I'm standing here is because some so-called watcher from Forkvale told me he could take a look. For a few golden dukes, of course. I was on my way out of the Balmarsh when I heard talk of a traveling mystic who could supposedly see souls. I knew it was a long shot, but what did I have to lose? I went to see this fellow and gave him the Audra figurine. He made a big show of moaning and rolling his eyes, and after I'd given him 5 golden dukes to lift the shroud, He told me to seek the crossroads in the field between the wolf's lair and the twining trees. He thought he was being vague, but I know the area well enough to recognize that he meant this place, right between Defiance Bay and Twin Elms. I had a bad taste in my mouth, but my coin was spent and I'd already left an arrow in his knapsack as a friendly warning. Told him I'd come back and leave him with another if it turned out he was giving me the runaround. I've been here a week now. Guess he had the last laugh after all. Why? You expect me to believe that? After the story I just told you? Fine. But if you try to run, just remember that my arrows are faster. What are you talking about? What just happened? You realize I've got no coin to give you, even if I did believe you.
Come with
If
me.
this is your idea of a joke, you may be stuck with me for a while. Lead the way.
And there we have it. We now have our fifth companion and our sixth party member, a
Ready,
ranger, Sagani. Dwarven ranger, and she's got a little fox as a companion, which is nice.
Hey.
But ideally we actually do want the fox up the front, but sometimes it can be useful to have him at the back because we'll have incoming enemies sneak up behind us or we'll get ambushed. So having a melee character, even if it is not a particularly tough one, is actually kind of handy to have at the back here. So, yay. Now, she does have a fairly good hunting bow to begin with, as well as she dual wields a couple of weapons. She's got this ability to mark prey per encounter, so she'll get a damage bonus against the target, as well as wounding shots, which will slow the target in question. So we've got the option of kiting things. Now, in terms of things that are in our inventory, she's got nothing else in there. We could give her an extra hatchet or that sort of thing. The war bow might not be useful. It's a hunting bow, so what have we got? 11 range, fast. So that's going to do more damage, but less DPS, I suspect. So if we look at them and compare them directly, let's just move this off to the side. It's extremely accurate, so she's going to hit, she's going to fire fast, as opposed to just the average speed on this one. So we're going to stay with the hunting bow for the time being, and let's double check that I don't have anything in inventory here that might be useful for her. Perhaps some arm. Oh, of course, the stiletto. We can replace that one. So she now has a better attack in melee situations. Then what she got? Fine hide armor. I don't think I can really. We might be able to improve it with a leather. Let's have a look at the options here. Both got the same damage reduction. The hide has a better recovery speed, I think. Yeah, we'll stick with the fine hide armor, I think. Anything in the cape wise, we could give her a hood. That seems appropriate for a ranger. I'm not sure there's anything else really we can give to her for the time being. Now the other thing we could give is this Hands of Dexterity, and that is her prime stat. So that's going to improve things, and we can give Eddard something else later on. Excellent. So we'll select our party.
Got it.
Hey.
Select our party. There we go. We'll gather our party and venture forth. Now, will still not be our final party configuration. But it will be for the time being. And now that we have all this extra stuff happening, we should have yet again an easier time of our fights. We will just drop a quick save. I'm not sure if I should be exploring out just until Eddard has got a little bit more health. What's this? Oh, campfire. That is useful. So we could try and explore. Decisions here. Because I can always come back and explore, but I'd like to be able to kind of get this exploration part out of the way. But I'm not sure if it's really the best idea. Or if I'm just going to get Eddard killed. Another lion coming up, so let's get our fox in the action.
Hey.
Fox doesn't matter so much if you do. Oh yeah, we got company. Alright, so we'll start off by marking this one. These are all per encounter, so it doesn't matter if we... I'll just get me on this one. There we are. You still do your thing. And move you up and do a holy burn. And I think you can knock down. And we might use the bounding missiles. Now, me personally, I'm taking a bit of a beating. That's one down.
Hey.
And we'll go over here, attack him. And maybe knock him down as well. Meanwhile, I can do a bit of a heal on our guys. Our ranger can finish off her. Our mage can drop another bomb. And he can start shooting him. Excellent. Nobody died. We're very close to it. But nobody died. This time. Okay, we'll pick up, and we have Harvest, a special axe here, not a special act, which is excellent news. Now, I did just see some lockpicks, which just went straight into general inventory. I want to keep that on me. But that means that we can replace Fine Hatchet with the Harvest instead. So this one will do a burning lash on it, so we'll do some fire damage, meaning she is now doing some pretty cool things. We've got this guy who's really good at killing specters. I've got the two-handed justice on me for him. Our mage has still got regular stuff. He's got his staff, of course, but he's usually using long-range rod. And we could use some better range damage for Kana. However, we will be swapping him out with a paladin instead. That. See what's there. Okay, so that's one of the, I think there's 3 of those things here. Now, I'm a little bit reluctant to continue on the same exploration path, just given that we seem to be running into lions that may actually take us down. And while I am quick saving as I go along, I'm kind of reluctant to push it. You know, if we're doing an Iron Man playthrough, then or you know, no take bucks, then this would be a real problem. So we will go here, and we'll move on to the 801 bridge. I'm pretty sure it's 801. I could be wrong. We'll move on to the bridge though. And here we are. Now the whole bridge is already mapped out for us, of course. I say of course, maybe it's not apparent, but basically these locations will all be known, so you don't have to really explore. We'll have a chat to him.
Friend.
What can you tell me? No offense. Offense taken, my friend. Offense taken. Now you notice the travel time changed to 15 minutes instead of 15 hours there, so it's still a little bit of time between districts, but not all that much.
Defiance Bay.
Here we go.
The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by Whiteone's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
That's right, they blew up a god. That's why that other bridge is out. There's a cat.
Defiance Bay. If ever there was a dry field in need of a cleansing flame, you have found it.
Wow, that's seems extreme.
Hail, traveler.
Alright, so he seems like a revolutionary sort, which will bring us to our first main choice of the series is, are we going to side with the Crucible Knights or with the Dozens? So it's pretty much, as far as I know anyway, a decision that you do need to make. Now, the first thing we are going to do is head to the Goose and Fox, which is an inn. But this is the map of Copper Lane. So we have like a acting amphitheater here. We've got some dormitories, some other houses that are related to quests. A whole of revealed mysteries, basically a library. Different areas to get into different areas of the city. So we can go down to Brackenbury this way, or to the First Fires from here. Now we do have a main quest objectives to go to the Temple of Boudica. We can go to the world map here and get to the southern side of that bridge that's out. Pernice's house, again, quest related. We have a marketplace here and the expedition hall, which is basically the home of the Dozens. But to start us off, we will be going to the tavern, and it also looks like Adric. Adric? I think it's Adric. Ada. Ada wants to talk to us. Oops, not Adric.
The Dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Then there'd be less of them.
Alright. So, he doesn't like the Dozens. Fortunately, I don't think my character likes them either. I mean, I am called Lyrian Tannister, which is totally not a euphemism for something else. Which means that, we're going to be clever, we're going to be against mob rule, so to speak. Building a fairer thing for all, but largely self-interested. So, we will have a chat to Bishop here, and we're going to go and get a room. So we've got a few options, but for the time being, pardon me. For the time being, we're just going to stick with the common room for our rest. Don't need anything special, enough to just get our health back. And Sagani wants to talk to us, so we'll do that now.
Even if you are putting one over on me, it's nice to have a hunting party again. 5 years for me. Must be 30-something for Ichimak. It's been a long hunt. A long time away from my family. Before, I'd crossed the tundra of Nasitok following caribou herds. I didn't want to leave Kalu and our children, but I was eager to visit lands my people rarely do. But 5 years without finding him. It's like 2 hours of necking. I'm ready to be done with it. Soul recovery is an old village tradition. We call it the Tarnek Ilitsak. Once in a generation, we seek the soul of a much respected and long dead village elder. We tell him what's changed in the village, how people remember him. The only other Tarnek Ilitsak during my lifetime happened when I was a girl, not long after Persak died. We feasted on blubber and fermented milk for a week, and we honored the chosen huntress as a hero. Then she left, and we returned to our duties. We still sang her name to the skies during festival season, but we otherwise didn't speak of her. It's not being forgotten by my village that troubles me, but sometimes I wonder how my husband and children remember me, if they think of me often. Still, there's no point in dwelling on it. More often I find myself wondering whether Persak will remember us. You claim to see souls. What do you think? Do you remember your past lives? Makes me wonder what Persak remembers about our village. Or if a turn at the wheel has yanked the details out of his mind like it does for most of us. Masuk is probably much the same as it was 100 years ago. We live between tundra and frozen forests, and the land takes as much as it gives. But our hardships bring us together. And the elders truly unite us. They keep the stories of past generations, and they guide us from season to season, through good years and lean. As family.
Now we will make go and have that talk with her at some point. I'm pretty sure I can ask those questions again later. If not, I've just failed in my completion run, of course. But for the time being, I just want to have a bit of a look around here. Alright, so we've got our first mystery. Her boyfriend turned into a drug addict, but he's not acting like the drug should affect him, so it is a bit of a mystery, of course. Why is he acting like that? Well, we'll go and visit him, deliver the ring, and we will find out, no doubt. Have a chat to the nobleman here. Nope. We will go upstairs, see what there is lying about. And if I recall correctly, this may end up in a bit of a fight. So we are going to position ourselves ahead of time here.
Following your lead.
While we have that time available to us.
How may I help?
Put our mage on the end here.
I'm here.
Hey. How do you do?
Okay, maybe it's later on, but I'm pretty sure that we will get into a fight with those guys. It's part of a broader quest.
I've got it.
Now, because we can, we are going to just rob everything in sight. that isn't going to incur a penalty and make people a little bit annoyed with us. After all, in this one I don't really want to get the reputation of a thief. Even if I am taking anything that's not nailed down. Now, from here, I am going to move on a little bit. We're going to head up to the marketplace, and then we're going to head to the First Fires district just to progress our main quest to some extent. But once we've done that, then we'll start in the next episode, I think, because we have been kicking along for nearly 40 minutes now. And this should bring us up to about an hour. I want to keep these bite-sized. We'll move on and explore the various quests available. But first, we are going to have a browse around on the market to see what's available and try and sell some stuff too. So these are largely trappies. Various traps that we can get to lay down. It's not something I'm really interested in just now. I'll chat to Laura next. Alright, so we'll Seal of Faith. What's this do? Only usable by a priest, but it gives our priests some more spells. That's why it's so bloody expensive. Telda's Ring will give the same sort of thing for a wizard as well. Both very useful. Ring of Deflection also useful, and Ring of Protection also useful. Various scrolls, a figurine that will summon something once per rest. Again, expensive because it's very valuable. And various other bits and bobs for crafting purposes. So here's our main things that we want to get out of it, and then those consumables in the form of our cameo is the next thing that would be really useful. Moving up to Nama, we have dragon meat and dragon eggs, which are incredibly expensive, but I believe that they form a part of a recipe that's quite useful as well. We also have camping supplies. Now, we want to get as much of those as possible. And in exchange, we'll give him some junk. Lots and lots of junk, in fact. Now we'll get 55 gold pieces as it stands, but we will just continue to get rid of everything that we don't really need. Now we've got 2 of those. We'll keep the rest just for when we get our pally. We'll trade. We couldn't get all of it, unfortunately. But that's okay. Now, in terms of weapons here, I think that's just everything I sold to him, yeah. And then we have Igran, who's our weapon merchant, I believe. Alright, we've got a few things here. So we've got Shatterstar, which is a unique warhammer. That's going to do some serious damage to people. In particular, +1 enemies engaged is quite useful, because it's useful for Edda to have multiple enemies engaged before he starts taking extra damage. So that is one that will be very good for our tank. We can afford it right now, of course, so possible. We've got a pike. I'm not sure who I want to give that to, or if I will end up getting it. The Lady's Hand, I believe, is a scepter, so that can be quite useful in outputting DPS. And Boros Lane, of course, is a unique warbow, which would be really good for our ranger, but it is 10,000 bucks, so probably not getting it anytime soon. Then we've got the usual assortment of bits and bobs in terms of armor. We've got helms here. We've got the Nerd Demon, or Dunrid Demon. So it's going to give us +2 to intellect. Now that could actually be useful. Let's go to inventory because we could wear that. How much was that again?
Gods keep you.
Oh, we've also got this medium armor. This stun and knockdown benefits, basically. That's 3,000 gold for a couple intellect. Again, not sure if I want to go with that or not.
Hey.
Close this off for the time being. I want to be conservative with my money first until I work out a bit of a plan. I will pick up everything else that I can find, of course. And from here, now that we've visited the market, gotten rid of some of our junk, we will head to the first fires. There is more to do in Copper Lane, by the way, so we are skipping past some things that we would normally go do. And here we are in the first fires. So if we go look at our quest, we want to go with this. See in the final city of Defiance, so we need to go to the Temple of Wodaka.
Well, whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, Gilded Vale. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. No, you had it right.
Alright, so we have the Ducal Palace up the top. Here's where the Crucible Keep is, where the Crucible Knights hang out. We've got the Valian Embassy. The embassy here, and then the Temple of Wodaka down the bottom. Now you might notice that it's seen perhaps some better days. And that's because it has. Basically no one really liked Wodaka, so they burnt her temple to the ground. I think they burnt it to the ground, maybe?
This would be the temple Merwald spoke of, or what remains of it.
Vision time.
Praise to the exiled queen. May her crown be restored and her justice prevail. Come to pay your respects to the queen that was. And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum. These stairs, of course. The sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires.
Ah. How do we get there?
There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane. I haven't been to that part of town in ages, but as I recall, it's somewhere near the southern gate.
Oh, man, we were just there.
Lord Ardwellen Rugford III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia. And unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways. Worshipping Woodaka, the exiled queen and oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my Emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do. A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Woodaka watches over them all.
She doesn't sound too bad, really.
Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Woodaka is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
Which is sounding less bad. I mean, less good, I should say.
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from? A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
Excuse me, sir, do you realize you're a cat? What? Meow. Alright, yeah, that happens from time to time. Excellent. So we have arrived at the temple, but of course there's no easy way in from here. So we'll have to go through the catacombs, aka the sewers, to get there. But there should also be our actual next companion somewhere around
All
here.
these circling feet heading nowhere.
Just gotta remember where. There should be another paladin kicking around. I think in the first fires, maybe it's somewhere else. I wasn't actually planning on picking them up in this episode, but we might as well if they are around. Just do a circle.
Politics, infighting, greed, and a shrine to Margaret as well. Her clergy belongs there.
Yeah, it must be that the pally is somewhere else. Maybe down by the docks, perhaps? I'm not 100% sure. Pretty sure they're Valiant. Violin. Those guys. Paladin. Alright, anyway. So, this is where we will cut off our episode. We're sitting at an... Is it an hour? No, it's nearly 50 minutes now. So that I feel is a good amount of time. So, from here, today we basically... Cade Noah, Woodland Plains, Able Bridge, Copper Lane, First Fires, a little bit of an introduction to everything. Now, we will be checking out Brackenbury and doing a bit more of a thorough explanation of, or exploration, sorry, of Copper Lane in the next episode. Andra's Gift, and we won't be doing Heritage Hill just yet, because that is kind of a whole quest area by itself. We will be looking into it, of course, but for the time being, we won't be doing that'll be its own episode, or possibly even two, just to get through everything in Heritage Hill. But that is where we are going to break today. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, now we can go there. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, then like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe. I'm sorry. I know how annoying it is myself to just always hear that refrain from YouTubers or streamers, but it really does help us out. And all that is a gentle reminder. If you don't want to do it, if you don't do it, that's fine. I'm grateful that you've watched this far. and I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye.